So when we get into spirituality, for most people, I think it's for personal reasons. Like it might be just very practical, like I just want to quiet my mind a bit. I just want to find a little more peace. I want to feel more at ease in the world. Maybe I just want to put my toe in the water and see what it's about. Practical reasons. Or maybe we have more exalted reasons. I want to get enlightened. I want to find God. But when we really examine our motives more objectively, let's say, we might find that there's a personal motivation in there, and that's fine. It's life uses whatever tool it needs to use to sort of point us in a fruitful direction. And one of those ways is to take advantage of how most people see themselves, which is from the perspective of me, right? How can I be more happy? How can I succeed? How can I achieve what I'd like to achieve? How can I feel better? How can I enjoy life more? And all of those things are fine. It's sort of the attraction of life itself to explore and see what it offers. Beautiful. But perhaps we could look a little more deeply at it, and even for perfectly reasonable, well-intentioned, even noble reasons. I mean, we may have a family, and we take responsibility for the family. Maybe we spend a great portion of our life providing for the family in one way or the other, taking care of the family, feeding the family, and so on. And it's it's for the benefit of others, yes, but when we also look more deeply, it's also useful to see that it also feels good. It feels good to have that richness in life, and it feels good to me, and yes, it's a benefit to other people. Beautiful. And we're not saying it doesn't, but we can notice there's also some personal gratification in it, feeling responsible, feeling like we're participating in life wholeheartedly. Beautiful. And then we might hear about the benefit or the merit of being compassionate. Right? And so maybe we volunteer for this or that, or contribute to something, or advocate for something in some way. And again, if there's an outpouring for what may be very good reasons and a virtuous cause, but so we're not denying any of that. All good things. But there's also the sense of yes, and I feel good about myself because I'm being a virtuous, compassionate person. So again, nothing wrong, but it's good to just acknowledge that personal element, even in things that it may first appear like we're doing it selflessly, and we may be, and that's beautiful too. And then we might get to the point, as we mentioned before, about our goals are no longer sort of personal of this world. It's like I want enlightenment. That's what I want. But now, worldly goals no longer motivate me, but enlightenment. I'm on the higher ground now. But perhaps we could see that there's still this element of who exactly is wanting that enlightenment. Right? And perhaps even then, we can see that there's some belief that if I were enlightened, I'd feel better. Life would look better. I don't know. Maybe things would go my way more often. Whatever the concept is. But we can see that despite the nobility of the goal, the willingness to take on sort of the ultimate challenge, there's still some sense of personal payoff there. If all goes well, enlightenment will be what I experience, right? And it will, by all reports, feel really, really good. So we can see even then there's this sense of, there's still this personal sense in there. And so when we hear concepts about no self, unity of all things, it becomes puzzling because there is this sense of me as a separate being. I can look down, I can see arms and legs, I can feel it from the inside. I have thoughts that are personal to me. And then this concept of unity, unity with the divine, unity with all of existence. So the question logically is, well, how can me as a separate being make my way to this idea of unity with all things? Right? Logical question. But the point is that the underlying assumption is where the mistake is made. It's not that unity is far off. There is only ever one thing happening. The entirety of it, the totality. But because we can look down and see this body, this organism, skin tight, wrapped with skin, we imagine that we're separate. After all, it feels like we're separate. We've been taught that we are, the strong, independent, self-reliant, very admirable qualities, especially in this country. So the question again is, how does me as a separate being get to unity? Where is it? I can't find it. But it's the issue isn't that unity is some far off concept, some distant land, some high state of being. It is the factual reality of existence. But it's only our mind that believes in this separation. I am separate. That's where we start from. That assumption creates the problem. Without the assumption I am separate, there's nothing but unity. So it's not discoverable as a high state or a distant land or, a particular set of circumstances or visual effect or anything like that. It's just how things are, period. And the only thing that gets in the way of discovering that is this sense of, no, it's me. I'm separate, and how do I get there? So obviously one of the reasons that we imagine ourselves to be separate is that it looks like that. I mean, we could look down and see, like we said, this body, we can feel it from the inside. We can think thoughts that are happening in our head and nowhere else in the universe. So it feels separate. But all of that experience, when we look down and see the body visually, it's still an appearance within consciousness. Different, but not different really in looking at a picture on the wall or the carpet on the floor. And the same with a thought that's appearing in the mind. The thought itself feels personal. It's happening only in this particular location, but it's still an appearance within consciousness. We only know the thought is present because consciousness exists. It exists already for everyone, complete. So when we look at our hand, it feels like, I know that's my hand, but the hand itself doesn't know that it is personal. The hand itself doesn't imagine itself to be personally belonging to me. It's only my awareness that what appears visually is attached to this arm, to this body, to this experience. And we're not denying the appearance of the body-mind. We're not denying the wonder of it. It certainly is an essential part of having this experience. We need the sensory organs, the eyes, the ears, the taste, and so on, to be able to experience this world. Without those, we don't experience it. So it is an essential part of this experience. But all of that, all of our sensory and perceptual experience, and the experience of being operating apparently from this bodily form, all of it is an appearance within consciousness. No consciousness, no world. No consciousness, no body. You wouldn't know if there was a body there or not. You wouldn't even know that the body was not there. There wouldn't be a you to know anything. But that's not the case. The case for all of us is that there is consciousness, awareness, whatever you'd like to call it, spirit, if you like, already present, already functioning through this form, aware of whatever's happening. So we get to play both roles. We get to play the person sitting in the theater watching the show, and we also get to play an actor on the screen in the show. We get to play both. What could be more fun?